Hello and welcome to YemmyCast, a video game podcast with me, Yemmy the Ferret here, on this fine Wednesday afternoon. How are you guys doing today? It's been quite a week of news, once again, I don't really want to, pause before we go into it, but I just want to say that the new Ritz crackers that are buffalo flavored, the Ritz crackers crisps, are delicious. They are addicting. So make sure you check those out if they're in your area. Official sponsor of the NFL. Anyways, YemmyCast, a video game podcast. Welcome. Thank you for coming around. If you want to, stick around, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out and lets me know that I'm doing something right. The podcast premieres every Wednesday at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. And it's also available on all the other platforms, including Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes, all on the same day. The podcast also comes out on Sunday, 9:30 a.m., and usually those have a guest or a little bit of news that is important for the weekend, or just a fun thing that I decided to do myself. So if you want to, you can check that out as well. Reminder, all the podcasts are available in audio form on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. I said iTunes before. So if you want to, you can mosey on to whatever platform you want to listen to it on. I have no platform loyalty, okay? If you want to listen to it on Spotify as opposed to YouTube or SoundCloud, that is up to you, and I am fine with that. But for now, let's jump into the news, because we got a lot of news to get to. And I know a lot of you people are saying, Yemmy, what do you think about this picture that Nintendo posted of Mario eating a watermelon? And I'm like, what? Why does that matter? Mario eating a watermelon? Sounds like a lot of hoopla to me. What's the big hoopla, I should be asking. So, Nintendo posted, I believe it was on last Friday, a picture of Mario sitting on the beach eating a watermelon. He has fingernails and toenails, which I think this is the first time we're actually seeing his hands ungloved, I'm pretty sure, but pretty wild stuff. Oh, actually, didn't we see him with just swim trunks on in Odyssey? I don't remember. But anyways, so it's a picture of Mario. He's eating a watermelon. He's got 2 watermelon seeds on his face. He just took a big bite and he's grinning like he just ate the ass of a hooker.
Did you kiss your mother with that mouth?
And he's got his hat off. It's sitting behind him. He's wearing a nice Hawaiian shirt. He's got a smile on his face. He's just enjoying the sun. He's on the beach. The waves are in the back. The water's in the background. And people took this and went off the rails with predictions or hypotheses and theories and stuff like that. All of which, I will say, are very, 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 very good theories. There's one YouTuber in particular that I listened to their whole video simply for this podcast, and that was Arlo. Arlo is a Nintendo connoisseur. He makes a lot of videos about Nintendo. If you want to, you can check his channel out. He's a puppet. It's a really cool channel. I like his channel a lot. But anyways, Arlo talked a lot about all the fan theories, and he went into detail about what he thinks about this picture. Now, what did Nintendo say along with this picture? Because this is a big part of the theories. So Nintendo posted this and said, even Mario needs a little summer vacation. No matter where your summer odyssey takes you, we hope it is filled with sunshine. Now, this could mean one of two things. One, it could mean Mario Sunshine or Delfino Plaza or something like that coming to Mario Odyssey. The other thing it could mean is a Mario Sunshine type game in the vein of Odyssey, which would work stupendously well, especially if you get FLUDD back. Now, this is where the wave of theories started to come in, and I'll try and be as, stay on the same path as I can, okay? Here's my thing about it. FLUDD was recently added to Mario's character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I don't believe FLUDD was a part of his character before that. So there's one thing there. I may be wrong about that, and you can call me out in the comments or in the premiere if you want to, because I'm not exactly sure. But from what I know, Mario did not have the Flood Pack in Super Smash Bros. Brawl or anything like that. I didn't play the Wii U version, so I don't know about that. But let's just say that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the first time you see the Flood Pack on Mario. Coincidence? I don't know. So then we move on to the Luigi's Mansion gameplay that was revealed during Gamescom. He went through this huge garden, and in that garden were watermelon. Now, one of the things that Mario grabs a lot of in Super Mario Sunshine, watermelon. There's also a pineapple and a watermelon on the table during the briefings. For the Luigi's Mansion 3, there was a watermelon with Mario in front of it, which, whatever. It makes sense. Watermelon was a part of the gameplay. But then during Zelda Link's Awakening, a pineapple was on the table along with the same Mario figure sitting in front of it. Now, the gameplay did show them buying a watermelon at a shop, so maybe. But that is pretty interesting, to say the least. Of all the things to have Mario standing in front of, a watermelon and a pineapple, two tropical fruits from a tropical adventure that he had in the past. Huh. Weird. Let's also talk about the hat on the ground, because this is the big thing too. The hat it's not cappy. It doesn't have any eyes. It just looks like Mario's regular hat. And that tells me that it might be a sequel to Super Mario Sunshine. The other fact is he has 2 watermelon seeds on his face. Why 2? Why any at all? I mean, I get you want to show that he took a big bite, but how did the watermelon seeds get on his cheek? One, when you take a bite, usually you spit the seeds out. They don't appear on your face most of the time, unless it gets right between your teeth and it comes out and magically gets onto the watermelon while you're still taking the bite, and then it latches onto your face because of the juices. That is highly unlikely. But that could have happened to Mario. I mean, this is just a picture that they rendered out and put a lot of time and effort into putting out on the internet. They didn't just throw this out there, right? So there's 2 watermelon seeds on his face, which tells us it could possibly be a hint at a Super Mario Sunshine 2. Now, why would they be revealing a picture like this now if it's hinting at Super Mario Sunshine when winter is almost here? Fall is coming around. It's the end of summer right now. It's the last week of August. September starts soon. That's when people start getting their fall clothes out and their Halloween decorations get put up, and it's football season. Well, maybe during the next Nintendo Direct or a future Nintendo Direct, they're going to announce Super Mario Sunshine coming to the Switch in summer next year, or a Super Mario Sunshine sequel in summer next year. There's a lot of people who have been hoping for a Super Mario remake, a Super Mario Sunshine remake or remaster, or even a sequel for a long, long time now. It's one of those games that, people, it's kind of hit or miss, I guess they never miss, huh? There's some people who really, really, really live by Super Mario Sunshine. Then there's some people like me who are kind of on the fence. I'm like, yeah, it's good. It has some bad qualities to it, but I enjoyed the experience as a whole. And there's some people who are just like, this is shit. This is all shit. Super Mario Sunshine, more like Super Mario Toilet Shine, right? Because it's a shiny piece of equipment used to shit into. Whichever side of the fence you're on, I think we can all agree that a Super Mario Sunshine remaster with the Odyssey controls would be amazing, or a Super Mario 2 would be pretty amazing with Odyssey's controls as well. Super Mario Odyssey controlled very, very well. As long as they take out those motion controls or make them optional, I think we're looking ahead to a great game. Now, let's just say that I'm wrong about all this, or everyone's wrong about all this, okay? I think that this could just be a cool, fun end of summer picture for Nintendo to put out. I don't think so. I don't think that anyone's really wrong in the sense of they're teasing something Mario related, something tropical related. I think we're past the time where DLC is an option for Odyssey. It's been out for so long, you think that if they would have put out something for Odyssey, it would have been back when the game was still super, super popular, and it was only a year later or a half a year later. That's usually when DLC comes out for games, to continue interest in the game. We're far past Super Mario Odyssey. And I don't think that Nintendo would put out DLC for Odyssey so late in the game. I think we're past that. We got Luigi's Mansion coming out. We got Fire Emblem already out. All these games that are coming out, and they don't seem to be having any DLC with them. It's not a big Nintendo thing to put out DLC either. So I think that Mario Odyssey DLC, we can cut that off the list. What can stay on the list, though, is random Nintendo post or Super Mario Sunshine tease. You know, something like that. Teaser for 2 or a remaster, and I think those are sound theories. That's why I'm going in depth about it, because you know what? I would like a Super Mario Sunshine remake or remaster or a Super Mario 2. There's no way that this just is like a coincidence. You know, Gamescom, fruit on the table with Mario in front of it during a Luigi and a Zelda game. You know, Mario having 2 seeds on his face on the beach. Not wearing Cappy. Cappy's not here. He's gone. What is going on? What is this? And the last melon to ponder over is the fact that there are 4 seeds in the watermelon. How many Mario open world 3D games have there been? Super Mario 64, Super Mario Odyssey, Sunshine, and the 2 Galaxy games, which I would say are one game. They're so similar to each other, I think that would count as one game. 4 open world experiences with Mario, and now we're looking at number 5. Is that crazy? That might be crazy. But you know what? I stand by my theories. Yes, thank you. I do stand by my theories and other people's theories as well. And I think that these are sound theories. So what do you guys think, huh? Let me know in the comments. Let me know on Twitter, anything what you want to do. Just tell me what you think about this, because this picture right here has sparked so many theories, so much crap, that I tend to believe it at this point. I've listened to all the pleas and all the cries for help. I've came up with my own theories. Let's see if any of this sticks. Let's see if anything is true. People, we don't know when the next Nintendo Direct is. I'm guessing it's going to be sometime at the beginning of fall or in the middle of fall, and we'll see. I believe that we will see a Super Mario Sunshine 2 or a Super Mario Sunshine remaster in the near future, and it will come out next summer, 2020. That is right. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Am I crazy? Is everyone else crazy? Are we all sane? I don't think so. Also, other biggie ball stain news. Overwatch is coming to the Switch, guys. Overwatch is coming to the Switch. I guess we can overuse the applause here. Congratulations. Because it's pretty much been confirmed with the existence of a Overwatch-themed Switch carrying case officially licensed by both Nintendo and Blizzard Entertainment. This has also led to speculation that Tracer could possibly be a character reveal for Smash Bros. Not likely, but Overwatch on the Switch, very likely. Now, Nintendo just doesn't throw things out just because they, think it'll sell a lot of money. I think that this is a partnership deal with Blizzard, where they're going to be releasing Overwatch on the Nintendo Switch. The Overwatch has come to every other platform now. PC, Xbox, PlayStation. When is it going to be on the Switch? Probably pretty soon they're going to be making that announcement. Possibly at the next Nintendo Direct. So, it came out on Amazon. Now, let me click this link here. Let's make sure it's still active. No, it is not active anymore. So, the link is not active anymore, but there are pictures on Twitter of a officially licensed Overwatch carrying case for the Nintendo Switch. So, the user at Wario64 posted it saying, with all details and pictures, this case is apparently being made by Power A, who is a maker of video game accessories, including Switch controllers, and is producing an officially licensed Overwatch carry case for Nintendo consoles. It was briefly listed on Amazon before it was taken down, but the internet sees everything. So yeah, we'll see if this is a true Switch port. Of course, it's been kind of talk about the town for a while now, there being an Overwatch port onto the Switch, I think would work pretty well. We've already got other games like Doom and stuff on the system, so I don't understand why they couldn't move over Overwatch to the system. I'm sure that we'll be seeing more information about an Overwatch crossover event or something like that in the next Nintendo Direct or very soon, whether it's at BlizzardCon or whatever. Obviously, it wasn't at Gamescom. That's done now. But yeah. Will they have to tone down the bodacious boobies and boobs? Booties and boobs? Maybe. Maybe. Alright, so you're going to treat your ears to the Yooka Laylee, the Impossible Lair, and the Impossible Lair soundtrack featuring X-Rare developers and creators. So Yooka Laylee's developer Playtonic Games went onto their YouTube channel and uploaded 4 different videos featuring music from Yooka Laylee and the Impossible Lair. They've been sharing the videos online for the last few days, and it shows off the musical styles and also some little gameplay footage in the background. It's not like moving or anything, but it shows kind of like Yooka Laylee and an alien. Alien? Enemy. That's what I meant to say. So there's a few different ones on there. You just heard what's it called? Mechanical Melody by David Wise, who is X-Rare, and then also Grant. What is his name? Grant Kirkhope, also X-Rare, did The One Brook, which is a song for obviously probably one of the beginning levels because it looks really nice and happy. Also, we have Clinking Carnival by Dan Murdoch and Underwater Saunter by Matt Griffin, who are both now at Playtonic Games, I believe. So, you know, we haven't really seen much of Yooka Laylee and the Impossible Lair. We'll see how it goes. Like I said last week, last Wednesday's episode, it's going up against the Hat in Time on the Switch. So we'll see if they can, if Yooka Laylee can go battle head to head with a Hat in Time. I highly doubt it. We'll see how much this is priced at. The release date just is still at October 2019, so we don't have a specific release date. We also don't have a specific price, I believe. Let's see. Amazon, $40. $40 on the Switch or $30 on the other consoles, which is interesting to me. Whatever. Alright, so Zelda Link's Awakening. There's been a little bit of confusion over if there's cloud saves on it or not. So, back a few days ago, it was revealed that Link's Awakening was not going to support Nintendo Switch Online paid memberships Save Data Cloud Backup feature, which is it's weird. It's very strange to me. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. And then it came out that there's been a little bit of confusion because when you view the game on the eShop, the North America version of the game confirms the cloud saves are supported, while the UK and Europe shops list it as pending. John Cartwright, who's at John Combs, was on Twitter and said, "This doesn't seem definitive. The US eShop says it does, while the UK listing claims it's pending. I'm sure that the website is running on a variant of pending." And he has 2 pictures, one of the American eShop and one of the UK eShop. And now it's officially come out that the Nintendo Life representative have reached out to the Nintendo UK what would you call them, service or whatever like that, and they asked the question about the cloud save support for Link's Awakening, and they responded with, "Thank you for contacting the Nintendo UK customer support team regarding your question on Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening's official page. We are sorry to inform you we are unable to find any mention of the save data cloud not being supported for this software on the page you referred. On the other hand, upon checking the game's features on its details section, we can see the save data cloud listed as one of said features. This indicates that the software will indeed be compatible for use with Nintendo Switch Online Save Data Cloud, and also indicated that on the Nintendo's eShop page on the same software. If you have noticed this information being displayed otherwise on any other official pages, please let us know." So, it seems like it's been confirmed that Zelda Link's Awakening will have cloud support from Nintendo UK's mouth right there. So, nice news for people who are planning on gaming on the go and might accidentally drop their Switch into a puddle. There you go. Alright, so Nintendo has removed credit card support from the 3DS and the Wii U eShop only in Europe. So, in the latest firmware update for the Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U systems, it did some minor fixes to, software stability, but it also, as of September 2019, credit cards cannot be used to add funds on systems on the Nintendo 3DS family or Wii U consoles, was revealed. So Nintendo came out on Twitter and said, Nintendo of Europe came out on Twitter and told us information and posted a link to a blog post detailing everything that you need to know. Now, the reason for this might be because of the PSD2, which is a new payment directive adopted by the European Parliament. PSD2 is said to add a new level of protection for those making purchases online and make cross-border European payment services safer, and it comes into full effect on the 14th of September. Nintendo hasn't confirmed if this is the reason why that they've dropped credit card support, but it would appear that it is so. Because obviously this update is coming out right before September, and they're probably going to update the consoles again with the addition of PSD2, which I don't know what it stands for. It doesn't say here what it stands for, but it is interesting that they've had to do this for an older system like this. I'm sure on the Nintendo Switch it's just going to update, and it'll be all fine, but with older consoles like this, they probably have to be thinking forward a little bit, but interesting indeed. Alright, so Mario Kart Tour is launching on the 25th of September. Get ready to race, because it's coming. It's coming, alright. So on the 25th of September, it's supposedly supposed to be dropping on Android and iOS devices. Pre-register for Mario Kart Tour is now available as well. You can go on to the MarioKartTour.com pre-registration link to pre-download and pre-register. They hope that you're looking forward to the new game. So, here's what the details for the game look like. Mario Kart takes a world tour. Mario and friends go global in the new Mario Kart as they race around courses inspired by real-world cities, in addition to classic Mario courses. Endless Mario Kart fun at your fingertips. Mario Kart series, known and loved by many, is ready to take the world by storm, one smart device at a time. With just one finger, you can steer and drift with ease, sling devastating items as you go for the gold in cups filled with new and classic Mario courses. Nab first place with the items and frenzy mode, collect drivers, carts, badges, and more, bonus challenges courses put a twist on traditional races, and you can race to increase your online ranking. It has been confirmed that there is no online mode technically to this where you can race friends. Everything just seems to be simple, very, very simple single-player experiences. We'll see if there's any microtransactions or anything like that with this game. Obviously, they just did Mario, Dr. Mario, and it's a little bit soon after Dr. Mario to be releasing this game, but, I think that this one might be downloaded a little bit more than Dr. Mario, since it is more of a, I love Mario Kart, I remember playing that on the N64, kind of thing. Also, Diddy Kong is coming back to Mario Kart after 11 years since I think he was on Mario Kart Double Dash, and that was the last one he was on. So this is actually for Mario Kart Tour. In the official trailer for Mario Kart Tour, it is shown that Diddy Kong is in the game, which is pretty awesome. He's been in Super Smash Bros. Since the Brawl games. He's been in the Donkey Kong games, of course, for a long, long time. And it hasn't been since Mario Kart Double Dash that he's been in a game. The last outing was in Mario Kart Wii, meaning that he was left out of 7 and 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So hopefully this means that we're going to be in Diddy Kong free update to Mario Kart 8, maybe? But it is interesting to see a long-loved character of mine and a lot of people's come back to a series that he should probably just be calling home by now. I don't know why he hasn't. Alright, Bandai Namco apologizes for shortages of fishing spirits in Japan. Just like that Ed, and Eddie episode. In Japan. You'll be a star in Japan. You'll be loved in Japan. But anyways, this game launched back last month in Japan. It's called Bandai Namco's Fishing Spirit Games, or also known as Suri Spirit's Nintendo Switch version, has featured in a local video game charts on a regular basis. Its success has now reportedly resulted in shortages across the country. As a result, Bandai Namco has issued an apology, explaining the next shipment of physical copies will arrive in September. To date, the retail version has sold more than 125,000 copies. If you're waiting to get one sooner than later, you can always go to the eShop for a copy, and that's actually from Bandai Namco officially. So this is the first time that something like this has happened. Obviously, Octopath Traveler became a breakout success, resulting in the game selling out on all fronts. So we'll see if this sells out in America. I don't think it would sell out in America because it doesn't seem like something that us Americans really would latch onto, but we'll see. If you haven't heard about this game, it's an adaptation of a popular arcade game, which can be seen in the trailer. And the task is to catch marine life and other creatures while earning medals. There's been no mention of the game being localized outside of Japan. Okay. Alright, woo! Warner Brothers has revealed the full DLC roster for Mortal Kombat 11's Kombat Pack, which is going all the way to March 17th next year, and then obviously they'll probably do another Kombat Pack. So, there was actually a small leak before everything started, with the thumbnail being on YouTube before the live stream was fully up, and the lineup for the DLC for Mortal Kombat 11 has been confirmed. Both Shang Tsung and Nightwolf are already available for about $6 each, or part of the $40 pack, which is actually on sale right now for, I believe, half off, which is pretty awesome. The pack is also including Sindel, which we already knew about, Spawn, which we already knew about, and now Terminator T-800 from the new Terminator movie called Dark Fate is coming on the 8th of October, and Joker, the Joker, is coming January 28th in time for the movie to come out as well. Spawn is coming out on the 17th of March, which is going to be voiced by Todd McFarlane, which he came out on Twitter and told everyone about, which is pretty cool. The trailer was pretty basic. They just kind of showed off all the characters. There was nothing said, no fight scenes or anything like that. Kind of like, the Injustice games, when they revealed their characters, kind of went the same way. It's interesting to see Terminator in this. I know everyone's like, Joker. I kind of saw Joker coming, okay? Because if you look at the past of Injustice games, Scorpion's been in one, Scorpion and Sub-Zero have been in the other, and it's just a matter of time before a DC comic book character goes into the official Mortal Kombat game. I know Spawn is DC, but I think it was less likely that Joker was going to come than Spawn, to be honest with you. Now, it's cool that NetherRealm Studios is getting characters that people wanted onto the game, like Nightwolf was a big character people wanted. Obviously, Spawn has gotten a lot of people's wants out of there. Terminator, of course, has been on people's radar, I believe, but no one believed that it would actually happen. I think a lot of people are also still asking for Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Ruh-roh, Reggie, watch out for the ratality. That would be kind of funny, but I digress. This is a pretty good lineup for the Kombat Pack, but it's a little bit too spaced out in my eyes. October 8th for Terminator, November 26th, more than a month later for Sindel, January 28th, a little bit more than a month later for Joker, and then March 17th, that's over 2 months, or a little bit less than 2 months since Joker, which is crazy. These characters are coming out way too small of a time span. I think Injustice 2 did it right. There's a lot of problems with Injustice 2, but I think the DLC came out in a good way. It was 3 per pack, and they would come out like every 3 months or so. Perfect. I liked that. I didn't mind that. But this is a little bit stretching it. I haven't gotten to play as Nightwolf yet. Shang Tsung has a pretty nice moveset. He's already been nerfed a lot, though. So it's, he's kind of, I don't want to say it again. I'm not going to say it again. Hit or miss. I don't think they heard me. Okay.
I guess
damn it.
Miss, huh?
I am excited for Terminator. That seems like a really cool character to have in here, especially because it's actually looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sindel, I could live without. I didn't really enjoy her character in Mortal Kombat 9, but whatever. Joker, they can finally get brutal with the Joker. Injustice is a little bit lame when it comes to his stuff like that, because you can't really show him cutting off people's heads and stuff like that. And the same thing for like Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. They still had to tame it back enough that it couldn't be too gory. So I think that they're definitely going to bring back his original fatality where he has the fake gun and he shoots it and the person reacts and it just says bang on a flag, and then he throws it away and pulls out a real gun and shoots him. I think they're going to keep that one in there simply because it's a very famous one and it looks really good. But I also think they're going to add some more brutal stuff to his character, because the Joker's a brutal character. From the comic books all the way to the movies, he's always been a brutal character. But in video games, he seems to be a little bit lax, especially in the fighting games. In the Arkham games and stuff like that, he does do a few things that are pretty brutal, but it's not like you get to see, like, smashed in skulls and slit throats and stuff like that. So I think they're really going to go all out with the Joker in this game. People have been complaining about the look of the character. I don't mind it so much, so I do think that he looks a little bit too, I don't know, hipster, maybe, I would say. His haircut's, the swoop over to the side. I think they just wanted to make him look a little bit more realistic. I don't think he's based off of the new Joker movie. I think that this is just like a younger version, more handsome version of the Joker. To be honest with you, I think the Joker, this realistic look of him isn't bad. I think they definitely should have gave him a more pronounced chin, because obviously the Joker has always had that pronounced chin, longer nose, stuff like that. I think they could have done that, made his face a little bit skinnier, but, maybe they'll change it like the Sonic movie in the future. Also, other news for the Mortal Kombat 11 Combat Pack. The Terminator, the T8, is it T1000? T800, excuse me, is not going to be voiced by Arnold. So, NetherRealm came out and said that we can't believe we got Arnold to be in the game, and that led people to believe that he was going to be voicing and modeling the character. But it has come out that according to a source, okay, we'll say a source, the ex-Californian governor is going to be voiced by a sound-alike voice actor. And he's gonna, so it's not gonna be actually Arnie voicing the character. Warner Bros. Interactive also reportedly confirmed Schwarzenegger would not be voicing his character in the game as well. Terminator is gonna come out the 8th of October. Of course, people are gonna swarm to get the character. How bad is this voice actor gonna be? I don't know. You can't really. Of course, there's people who can do a really good job at impersonating Arnold, but it's just not going to be as genuine. I think people are going to be a little bit disappointed with the voice actor for this, no matter what happens, to be honest with you. But we'll see what his moveset is. He obviously he has the shotgun in his hands in the trailer, so that could, he could utilize the shotgun there. But he is the Terminator, as he has a lot of, got a lot of bells and whistles. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Are you looking forward to the movie? I know the last movie wasn't widely, everyone didn't really like it, but we'll see what happens in the next chapter. All right, so Yacht Club's Games is going to be broadcasting a special video presentation on YouTube and Twitch today, Wednesday, the 27th. I forgot to say that at the beginning of the podcast. The 28th. I'm sorry. So Treasure Trove Games have made popular games like Cyber Shadow and Shovel Knight, and they're going to be doing a presentation at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it will be done by the time this podcast comes out, on their YouTube and Twitch channels. Both channels are Yacht Club Games with no spaces in between. We're not sure what exactly they're going to be, showing at this presentation. Apparently there's something new for Shovel Knight coming out. Maybe it's a sequel, maybe it's another DLC. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it'll be something about the board game, who knows. But you'll have to tune in for the video to find out. Maybe we'll get more information about that new Cyber Shadow game. We'll have to wait and see. Motto of the podcast. I keep saying it over and over again. I apologize. Yacht Club Games has made some really... has Shovel Knight's a breakout hit for them, so everyone's really wondering what the next step for them is, seeing as Shovel Knight has pretty much led their legacy for the past few years now. I remember when Shovel Knight was just a regular, just a game. It was just a game with nothing to it, and people just fell in love with it, and the DLCs built upon that, and they were all free for a time, and now if you buy the collector's edition, I believe it's a little bit more, because it has everything with it, but still pretty fairly priced, and a really good game if you haven't checked it out. Alright, so Cooking Mama Cookstar has received an award from PETA for including a vegetarian mode. So the animal rights organization PETA normally makes video game headlines when they call out particular titles for this and that, like the Pokemon, when they called out Pokemon for the Wooloo thing, which was a really cringe story. But the Cooking Mama, a series that has been under fire from animal rights advocates in the past, has received a Proggy Award, which translates to Progress Award, for adding a vegetarian mode to the upcoming Switch entry, Cooking Mama Cookstar. PETA singled out the Cooking Mama series in 2008 when it released a parody game raising awareness about animal abuse within the meat industry. And the vice president of the organization had this to say about this new mode coming to the game. Cooking Mama's vegetarian mode is sure to be a hit with the huge population of gamers who are committed to choosing kindness over cruelty. PETA is honoring Planet Digital Partners for showing other game publishers how to create great games that align with player values. I mean, it's still kind of cringe, to be honest with you, with the way that they word this stuff. So yeah, so the award has a picture of a frog jumping on it, and it says PETA Proggy Award for Progress, August 2019. They recognize and thank Planet Digital Partners for promoting compassion for animals by offering a vegetarian mode in its new Cooking Mama Cookstar game. And signed by Ingrid E. Newkirk, President People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. PETA has to ruin everything. I'm just kidding. I think that the way that they've worded this, it's like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how many vegetarian gamers are actually going to use the vegetarian mode outside of like, oh, this is kind of fun to play around with and then go back to the normal game. I don't know. I don't know how many people are actually going to play this vegetarian mode simply because they're vegetarians themselves. You know, I think that even though it's good to honor a game in this way, and maybe this will show other platforms, like if they are cooking games or something like that, that they should include more variety of things for people with different palates and stuff like that, people who choose vegetarian lifestyle or vegan lifestyle. But I think that the way that they worded that statement is just a little bit like, it's almost like a little bit of a middle finger to people. You know, it's like, oh, look what Cooking Mama's doing. And they're like, fuck you, Overcooked, and your meat. It's like, but I'm cooking potato soup. I'm a cooking the potato soup, PETA. I'm a cooking potato soup. It's like, it doesn't matter. That pan was used once for rabbit stew, and it will never go away. All right, moving on, because this joke has gone on too far. Microsoft also has no plans to bring more first-party exclusives to other consoles right now. The current relation between Nintendo and Microsoft has been as best as it ever could be right now. And there's also Ori and the Blind Forest might be the last Xbox title published on the Nintendo Switch. In a statement provided to GamesIndustry.biz the other day, Microsoft played down the idea of more games coming to the Nintendo console. While the past year has been an exciting time for the company, moving forward it has no plans to further expand the exclusive offerings. He's also quoted as saying, "The past year has been an exciting time for us, and we have more than doubled the internal creative teams making up Xbox Game Studios. And these new studios transitioned in. We were aware of some existing commitments to other platforms and will honor them. However, going forward, these new studios will focus on making games for our platforms. We have no plans to further expand our exclusive first-party games to other consoles. We continue to believe deeply in cross-play and progression of games with the right flexibility for developers to ensure a fair and fun experience." So that means that maybe Outer Worlds and Psychonauts 2 and possibly Ninja Theory will not be coming to other consoles, but I doubt it. I think that this is just them being like, oh, go buy an Xbox now, because, whatever, I don't know. I do believe that they won't put any more games onto the Nintendo Switch until Nintendo gives something back to them. Like, I mean, they've been pushing out so many first-party exclusives to the Nintendo Switch, but Nintendo has done really nothing to recoup, you know, to pay them back. So they might be just stopping that kind of thing, but it could also mean that other games that are coming out soon might be Xbox exclusive in the future. The next Xbox Scarlet might be exclusive. You know, Psychonauts 2, Outer Worlds, stuff like that. We'll see. So, Hotline Miami Collection has been removed from the Australian Switch eShop. The second game in the series is still banned, and of course it comes in the 2-pack with the Hotline Miami Collection 2-pack? No. The Australian Switch owners got a surprise a few days ago when Hotline Miami Collection was made available on the local eShop after the Indie World presentation. Back in 2015, the second game, Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number, was actually refused classification for depicting sexual violence. The fact that the collection was listed on the eShop in Australia seemed too good to be true, because eventually it ended up off of the site in about 24 hours later. So it obviously was a little bit of a slip-up. Maybe board, the Australian rating board, didn't notice that was the collection or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, the collection is referred to as Hotline Miami in the classification, the refused classification, and it was submitted through the IARC automated classification process in June, and it was refused. What's a tad confusing is the fact that the eShop listed the collection as MA15+, which technically fits in with the local guidelines. Regardless of this, it's no longer available in Australia. So if you didn't pick it up then, there's really no way to pick it up now unless you're running a VPN. So the little picture shown just shows the refused classification for Devolver Digital's game, and the category is computer game, which is weird to me, and it's just listed at Hotline Miami. And there's really no reason given officially by the site, but I'm sure that the reason is just violence, to be honest with you. Are you Australian? Are you an Aussie? And you want to play Hotline Miami? Sign up for NordVPN, not a sponsor, so fuck you. Alright, so Sony is going to send out a select PS4 fans a great free game called Astrobot Rescue Mission. A select number of PS4 fans are going to get a free code for the game in their email, so if you haven't, make sure you go back in time and look up and see if you got an email from Sony saying, hey, you got a free Astrobot's Rescue Mission game, you better download it. It's unclear whether the goodie is only for PlayStation VR owners. I'm not sure how they would know that unless they, can see, on your account if you've played a VR game. But, of course, make sure you go through your inbox and see if Astrobot Rescue is in your feed. I haven't played the game yet myself, so I'm kind of hoping that the game is free for me. I don't know. I've heard plenty of good things about this game. I've seen plenty of good reviews about the game. I just haven't gotten around to playing it. I haven't really played the VR much lately. I do want to get back into it, of course, because it's a really fun experience. It's just there's a lot of wires right now. The controllers do hold a good charge, but they're the little motion controllers, and they have the balls on the top, and it's very strange, very strange. So it actually was a Game of the Year contender last year for a lot of people, and it's still obviously a well-received game. It released last year on the 3rd of October in 2018. Possibly the game will come to PlayStation Plus eventually, but right now they're only doing 2 games, and I doubt they would have one of those games be limited to the VR. Even though a lot of people own the VR, I think that Sony wouldn't do that. Maybe they'll have a special 3-game weekend or month. We'll see. Motto of the podcast. Alright, so speaking of Xbox exclusive games, Ashen is going to come to the PS4 this December after being on the Xbox for a year exclusively. Ashen is a third-person kind of experience that has third-person fighting and stuff like that. It's a darker game. It has a lot of like Dark Souls elements, but I don't think it's a Souls-like game. But if you've had your eye on Ashen and have been holding out for it, it is going to come to the PlayStation on the 9th of December, 2019. And it's been pretty much exclusive to the Xbox One and PC since the 9th of December. Since 2018. I'm not sure exactly what day it came out. It is a Souls-like experience with minimalistic art style that explores some truly stunning environments along with a weighty combat system that makes every hit and swing important. You'll build up a community of people and structures around your base, while co-op allows you to either team up with an AI or bring along a friend online. So it does seem like an interesting experience. If you don't like Souls-like games, you might want to steer clear of this one, but it might be a little bit easier to get a co-op experience in this one if that is what you desire. But it's going to come to the PS4 the 9th of December, so you have some time to think about it. Alright, so Dying Light 2 showed off about 30 minutes of gameplay. A lot of it was that basic slow movement, look around, see the beauty of the game kind of thing. And then the other half of it was fast running, slicing, dicing, close calls, etc., etc. It showed off the choice bases in the game. There's a lot of choice to be had in this game. It also showed off a lot of the free running, some new free running mechanics, some new moves for the character. It's looking to be a very good experience once again. Obviously, the graphics are bellissimo. I mean, oui, spaghetti. It looks really great. If you haven't played Dying Light before, now is a great time to get into the game with the new game coming so close. I believe the new game is... it's still to be determined, so it's not yet got a release date, but it's obviously going to come out sometime next year. It seems like they're just wrapping up on production right now. They're showing off a great amount of gameplay and areas to go to. So yeah, it wasn't at E3, but here we go. We have gameplay now. The trailer is available on their YouTube channel, which is just Dying Light. It has 216 subscribers. 216,000, I should say. But yeah, there's a lot of choices that were made during the 30-minute gameplay reveal, with the first being whether you decide to continue with a mission or instead help your injured friend, which happens pretty early in the trailer. And if you choose to leave your friend, you'll have to battle your way through zombie-infested city to come face-to-face with the Colonel after capturing a bus. It was pretty cool to see the gameplay in motion. Now, the one thing I don't like about these kind of trailers is, like I said at the beginning, it's very cinematic, very, oh, look at this, look at that, oh, slowly pan the camera this way, slowly pan the camera that way, oh, the game works perfectly fine. It's not it is someone actually playing the game, but it is just a cornered off section of the game, so who knows if it's the full build or if it's just that part of the game that they mapped out for this experience, for this trailer, who knows. I'm optimistic about Dying Light, of course, because Dying Light 1 was such a great game. I put it on my top 10 games list the year it came out. Obviously, I enjoyed the game so much. I still have it on my shelf right now. I haven't played it in a while, but of course, I have played the snot out of it, so maybe I won't get back to it, but Dying Light 2 is looking good, and I'm hoping that this gameplay is the full package and not just a snippet of gameplay that was cut out for you to enjoy. Alright, so Persona 5 Royal has several new endings based on how you play. The Persona 5 Royale introduces a number of new story elements, some which are set to significantly expand the potential reshape the existing plot, and potentially reshape the existing plot. Ugh. New characters, a whole new school semester. It all sounds great so far, but what's the most meaningful player choice? As it happens, Royal will apparently offer several new endings, all of which Atlas describes as unique. So in the latest issue of Game Informer, which I have right here, Modern Warfare, I was on the main screen there. I haven't read it yet because they gave Wolfenstein Youngblood an 8 out of 10. So in the latest issue of Game Informer, Persona specialist Mystic Distance came out and said that the game is made so you can still enjoy the original storyline and ending. However, we think that the newly added scenes help to deepen the feeling of the game. How that ties in with the new term is something we would love for you to experience for yourself. But depending on how you play, we've prepared several new endings, oh my gosh, unique to Persona 5, but Royale. Rather than saying the game has been expanded, it might be more appropriate to say that it has been deepened. Ooh, now that's deep. Not a lot of damage. Deep. Alright, so if you didn't get to play the Modern Warfare Alpha, the 2v2 Alpha, it is over now, of course. It started on Friday and ended midday on Sunday, which was like, why? They really should have kept it going until the night times, but oh well. A lot of people didn't get to play it, including my friend Nick, which was unfortunate because I really wanted to play it with him, but he was busy at work all weekend, and on the day that he could play, it was down by 12 o'clock that day, so that's really disappointing. But from what I played, the gameplay seems a little bit refined, a little bit more fresh. It seems a little bit more, I would say, quote-unquote, realistic. The gun movements and stuff like that feel more reminiscent of Battlefield. The guns in the game, they added a few extra guns midway through the alpha, and they were pretty good guns. There was really only a few that I did not like using at all. Mainly they were sniper rifles, and I think there was a shotgun in there. But I will say this, the Olympia is back, which is a fan favorite from Black Ops. I'm glad they brought that back. But yeah, the graphics and everything like that, everything looks beautiful in this game. It plays just like a classic Modern Warfare. Like I said, it just has a little bit more swaying motion to it, kind of like a reminiscent of a Battlefield type experience. I think this game is definitely going to be top tier this year. They've definitely gone back to the drawing board and said, what are we doing wrong with the series? And I think they really came together and thought about it and put out the best experience you could possibly have with a Modern Warfare game. Now, I'm really excited to see what the full multiplayer beta is going to be like. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with the Spec Ops and the single player and stuff like that, how it all ties together. As I already said, Battle Royale is not going to be day one thing with this. It's probably going to be added in later as not really a DLC, but a free DLC coming out, which is interesting to me because I'm glad they're doing that. So we'll see. Like I said, the graphics are great. The gameplay was pretty smooth. The only problem I had with the 2v2 system, one, I don't like 2v2. I don't think it's that great of a game mode, but the one thing I found was that during this alpha, a lot of people were leaving mid-game or before the game started. So essentially you would have 1 versus 2, which is never fair in any scenario with Call of Duty. Now, you can get a few wins off of it, especially if you're a really good player. Sometimes you'll win the whole thing. But for the most part, when you're going 2v1, it's very unfair. And that happened to me a lot during this alpha. People would just straight up leave, or they would go away from their controller and just leave their character standing there, just waiting to be killed, which was very disappointing to me because I was having a lot of fun when I had a partner with me and we were going through the game. And then I started to get all these games where I was alone or the other person was alone, and then eventually that other person would just leave. So it was interesting, a little bit disappointing there because I didn't really get the full experience of it for the most part. I just got snippets of the experience, but interesting to see how the beta is going to be. I'm interested to see how the gun customization is going to work. Of course, you couldn't customize any guns in this alpha, so it's going to be interesting to see how that all works. I'm excited. If you're not excited for this game, you're probably not a Call of Duty fan. All right, so Days Gone. I know. How much do you talk about this game, but you don't like it? Yeah, I know, but I got to keep reporting on it because they are adding a lot of things to improve the game's experience. But in patch 1.4, it has added gyro aiming, more challenges, and more general fixes. So the biggest thing that come out of this patch, like I said, is the gyro aiming. You can do small tweaks to your aim by moving the PS4 controller itself, which is reminiscent of Nintendo Switch and the Wii, which works pretty well. I haven't really used the PS4 controller as a motion controller, only during Until Dawn or something like that, and that was far and in between. Or maybe I did a little bit with Detroit Become Human, but those kind of things never really work as well as they should, especially if you go to the original Injustice game. Oh boy, that touchpad doesn't work at all when you're trying to do that stuff, so just turn that stuff right off. The patch also is adding new challenges, and it's going to be playable today. It came out Tuesday, I believe. So, the new challenge called Reload is tasking you with killing 300 freakers in 3 minutes by taking advantage of the environment and a .50 BFG weapon. 3 more challenges are scheduled to drop in August by the 30th and on the 6th and 13th of September. The patch rounds out with a number of fixes to progression blockers as well as general improvements that make a better playing experience. So yeah, it looks like they're continuing to upgrade the game, of course. Like I've always said, the game is just mediocre. It's not like the best experience I've ever had. It's definitely lower on the spectrum than Horizon Zero Dawn for me. I think it's one of those games that's it's not as high quality as we've seen from Sony the past few years on the PlayStation. With games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Spider-Man, all being games focused on the Sony, on the PlayStation. Just having Days Gone come out and be as kind of wonky as it is, the story isn't as good as I was hoping it would be. It's a very predictable story. It just kind of let me down a little bit. Even though I still had a little bit of fun playing it, I felt like it could have used a little bit more polish. And this is what they're doing, putting some polish on the game. So hopefully by the time that you play it, if you haven't played it yet, it'll be about ready to go. Just like with Assassin's Creed Unity. Alright, so Dreams won Game of the Show at Gamescom 2019. It's also won the Most Original Game and Best PS4 Game at Gamescom as well. Creative Suite Dreams also took home the overall Best of Gamescom 2019 Gong. Yet another Sony-published title, Marvel's Avengers VR, won Best VR and AR Game, wrapping up a sensational showcase for the Japanese giant. Here's the other games that won at Gamescom. Best Action Adventure Game, Black Sad, Under the Skin. Best Action Game, Doom Eternal. Best Family Game, Concrete Genie. Best Racing Game, Grid. Best Role-Playing Game, Wasteland 3. Oh, that's interesting. Best Simulation Game, Planet Zoo! Yes! Planet Zoo! Woo! I'm excited for Planet Zoo. I really am excited for Planet Zoo. The Best Sports Game, the Roller Championship Game from Ubisoft. Best Strategy Game, Desperados 3. Best Multiplayer Game, Borderlands 3. Best Ongoing Game, Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Best Hardware with the Xbox Elite Controller 2. Most Original Game was Dreams, and the Best PlayStation 4 Game was Dreams as well. And of course, the best game was Dreams, as voted by the Gamescom committee. So, congratulations to the winners. Looking forward to seeing all of these games fleshed out and fully done in the future. Okay, so Yakuza 3 Remastered is going to restore a bunch of content that wasn't in the PS3 Western release. So when Yakuza 3 was brought to the West on the PlayStation 3 back in 2010, Sega cut a sizable amount of side content from the game. The content, which was available in the Japanese version, was removed because Sega basically didn't think it would gel with Western audiences, or at least that the that was the publisher's explanation. The cut content included over 20 side quests, several minigames, and a whole hostess, Twinkies anyone, club management system. Fortunately, the cut content is now going to be restored in the release of Yakuza 3 Remastered, which just hit PlayStation 4 digitally this week. As Yakuza content creator and series expert Devilian7 confirms in his new video, everything seems to be intact, barring a couple of side missions that were also removed in the Japanese remaster, supposedly because they hadn't aged very well, which, is fine. So if you want to, pick up Yakuza 3 and check out those new side missions. More unfortunate news for the Uncharted movie. Of course, we just had good news with Tom Holland maybe being Nathan Drake, and they're getting a director, but now they've lost another director. That's 5 now. So the Uncharted movie has been in development for about a decade now, about 10 years, and this is the 5th director who has left the project. According to Deadline, former Totally Rad show host Dan Tachtenberg has parted ways with the film, although Spider-Man star Tom Holland is still signed on to play the part of Nathan Drake. A newly established PlayStation Productions, a subdivision of Sony Entertainment designed to adapt the organization's copious array of intellectual property into films and television, will now front the flick, which has been stuck in development for about a million years. But yeah, Sony is still forging ahead regardless, and they hope to get a new director in place by this summer. Production is scheduled to begin in early 2020, but don't be surprised if the date is pushed back once again. Obviously, this movie has seen better days. Hopefully, it'll start to get into motion soon. Like I said, I think Tom Holland would be a good fit for a younger Nathan Drake. But, motto of the podcast, everyone, we have to wait and see. There's a new Cyberpunk 2077 track from Samurai, the game's in band, the band in the game. This one's called Never Fade Away, by Samurai, who also goes by the name Refused in IRL. And Refused is a Swedish rock band. They kind of have some metal stuff to them as well, and the song sounds really good. I'm not going to play it, of course, because of copyright, but the first track called Chippin' In was really good, and now Never Fade Away is also another really good song. It's a pretty good song indeed, so make sure you check that out if you want to. I believe it's available on YouTube and possibly Spotify, but I'm not sure on that. Also in Cyberpunk 2077 news, Cyberpunk multiplayer still in development, but its release isn't guaranteed. In a interview with Eurogamer, senior concept artist Marth Jonkers says that despite ongoing development, multiplayer may never actually make it to the game. We're not saying no multiplayer, but it doesn't mean we're saying yes either. It's still an R&D phase, explains Jonkers. Immersion is super important for us, and we have to make sure everything fits together. The single-player experience, it all fits together. We're not just going to slap some multiplayer feature in, and that'll be it. It's possible. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. So obviously I don't think Cyberpunk needs multiplayer. I don't know who's asking for multiplayer. Of course, if they put multiplayer in, we'd have to see what it is. I'm guessing it wouldn't be like a PvP mode. Maybe it'd be like a PvAI or PvE. Who knows? But that's another thing that, like, I don't think this game needs that. I think they have enough on their plate with just the game being as huge and massive as it is. So I think that focusing on the single-player element is a better idea for the game. Alright, so No Man's Sky Beyond is going to get a full retail release on the PlayStation 4, which is the VR mode for No Man's Sky, which also comes out for free on the base game in a patch as well. So the latest version of No Man's Sky is being explored on the 10th of September in North America and the 11th of September in Europe. The physical copy will ship with all of the latest updates pre-installed. Oh! Pre-installed? Oh my gosh, they're really trying to take my heart. I tell you what. Pre-installed content? Patch content? That is crazy. That is actually insane. Pinch me, I might be dreaming. And it will boast the new box art, including the all-important PSVR icon on the front as well. So yeah, are you going to be picking up the new physical copy of No Man's Sky? comes with all the enhancements in one package. No need to download a patch. I'm sure there'll still be a patch to download, but it definitely will not be as big as someone who's just bought No Man's Sky for the first time and they have to update the patch, which could be pretty long, to be honest with you. I'm still on the fence about going back to No Man's Sky. If I do, it would definitely be because of some bet, something like that. I don't think I'm going to go back to it simply because I'm interested, because the gameplay I experienced was not that good, but it's always a possibility in the future. My mind has changed for smaller things in the past. Alright, so Horizon Zero Dawn's Aloy is returning to Monster Hunter World with the Iceborne crossover. So she's already been a part of Monster Hunter World in general for the PlayStation. That was an exclusive. But now it's been confirmed that Iceborne is going to get the Frozen Wilds version of Aloy in the game itself. So if you don't know, the DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn was Frozen Wilds, and I think it fits perfectly with the Iceborne style. Snowy wilderness, all that crap. If you want to, you can get that in September when the game launches. Capcom announced that second Aloy armor set and weapon will be available for the expansion because the regular version of Aloy is in the regular game itself. Alright, Nioh or Nioh 2 will hack and slash the Tokyo Game Show next month. There's all new screenshots and artwork available right now. So, Nioh 2 will cut the Tokyo Game Show next month as publisher Koei Tecmo lines up a all-new demo for the upcoming PlayStation 4 exclusive. In the PlayStation blog, creative director Tom Lee showcased the key art for the title, confirming that the central character will indeed be called Half-Breed. Will be a so-called half-breed. Ooh, I can't read now. He is part human as well as possessing an extraordinary power of the yokai, he explained. As a samurai warrior, his journey takes us through the treacherous Sengoku period of Japan, and his transformation from human to fiend will take him deep into the dark realm of yokai. I promise you that this metamorphosis will be spectacular and result in some truly intense action. The screenshots look excellent. There's pictures of him as the yokai. There's also yokai, and there's also pictures of him fighting a large-breasted snake, also a regular snake. There's a guy with a axe, throwing an axe. There's also a demon with horns. There's a big boss, it looks like. Pretty cool stuff. I did not make it through Nioh, the first one. I do want to get back to it, though, because I was enjoying the ambiance and all that. Of course, Sekiro kind of overtook that for me personally, but we'll get back to Nioh eventually. So yeah, the demo is set to be released, or not, the demo at the Tokyo Convention will be on the 12th of September, start on 12th of December. So if you're in town, you might as well swing by. Alright, so Marvel's Avengers, the faces have been remodeled in new gameplay footage. So at first glance, it's hard to notice that the characters have been remodeled, but you can definitely see it on Black Widow and Captain America for sure. A little bit on Bruce Banner, a little bit on Thor, and a little bit on Tony Stark, but for the most part, Black Widow and Captain America have gotten the biggest changes. They've made Captain America look a little bit older, and they've kind of shaped Black Widow's face a little bit to make it, a little bit wider. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. So I'll show on the screen here, hopefully, if I remember, the two pictures side by side. Like I said, it is difficult to see at first glance the change that they did, but they did do a little bit of a tweak. People are still not too happy about the character designs. I think it's just because we've been so accustomed to the actors who portray them in the movies that anything else besides that look kind of goofy. That's how I felt when I read the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. When you see Star-Lord's face in those, it looks way different than the Marvel one because it's Chris Pratt, of course. But it was a little off-putting at first, but I got used to it eventually. Alright, so, because of the Spider-Man controversy that's been coming around, Disney and Sony have been fighting for the rights to fighting just because of Spider-Man. They've been fighting because of Spider-Man, okay? It's raised some concerns about future possibilities for Spider-Man in video games. Now, I don't think that this will impact the Sony games like Marvel's Spider-Man, because, to be honest with you, that's a Sony property. And PlayStation is part of Sony. It's not a part of Disney. It's a part of Sony. Even if Disney bought back the rights for Spider-Man, I'm not sure that Marvel's Spider-Man would be canceled, seeing as it was a big, big money bucket for Sony. I think that Disney would be like, oh, yep, keep working on that. Don't worry, we'll just look the other way. So, Spider-Man was purchased by Sony back in 1999 when Marvel was on its heels trying to get money from anywhere. Actors like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield have played the character, of course. After the reboot of the franchise in 2015, there was a deal struck with Marvel Studios in order to incorporate the character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This resulted in a 10 or a 5, I think it was like 10% of the profits going towards Disney, the other 90% going to Sony, which is a pretty good deal. But this also people forget that Marvel is taking all of the merchandise stuff too, so that's something there. There's already another movie announced for Spider-Man for later. I don't know if it's next year or the year after that. I think it's like Leaving Home or something like that it's going to be called. But of course, the relationship between Sony and Marvel has kind of collapsed a little bit. And Mickey Mouse went into that boardroom, was like, oh, you're going to give us 50%. And Sony was like, hold on there, bucko. Hold on. Let me get the mouse traps out. And he's like, oh, you better give us 50% or we're not going to let you use Spider-Man. They're like, oh, but we own Spider-Man, Mickey Mouse. And that's where the devil horns came out and revealed that he's actually, the guy is actually the Satan. And then Mickey Mouse is like, oh, fuck you. I don't know. This is okay. Anyways, it's unlikely that anything will happen to the video game side of things, especially if Sony keeps the rights to Spider-Man. But if Sony keeps the rights to Spider-Man, that means that Tom Holland will no longer be, or Spider-Man will no longer be in the MCU technically. And we all know how the Venom movie went down. We all know how the Amazing Spider-Man movies went down. Awful movies. So we hope that Disney will strike a deal with them soon. Maybe ask for a little bit less money, Disney, because Sony kind of holds the cards here. So, here's another thing about the Xbox exclusive thing. Since Sony bought, Insomniac Games, does this mean that Sunset Overdrive will be coming to the PlayStation in the future? It's very likely, unless there's some sort of secret contract that doesn't allow Sunset Overdrive to be on any other platform. Although it was released on Steam a while back, which is it's a great deal, $20. It's a great game. If you want to, make sure you pick it up. But Microsoft has the publishing rights to the original open world outing, but its developer who possesses the property ownership has of course been purchased by Sony. So we'll see if Sunset Overdrive 2 comes out Sony exclusive, which would be really weird. I don't think they would do that. But anyways, speaking with the Hollywood Reporter, Worldwide Studios chairman Sean Layden tried to dodge this question. As far as the IP itself, we really haven't turned over the files on that one to see what that actually means. We like what they've been doing in the Spider-Man franchise, and things like Ratchet & Clank are certainly vital series in the present and future. So, Sunset Overdrive sequel chances are probably pretty low, and maybe it coming to the PlayStation is probably a pretty low possibility. It's a great game. It's kind of like Infamous, just a little bit more goofy, a little bit more comedic, a little bit more cartoony. So if you haven't played it, I'd suggest if you have a good PC, picking it up on PC, playing it. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got some great gameplay in there. The story's a little bit but it's okay because the gameplay makes up for that. So if you want to, make sure you check it out. Hopefully there will be a Sunset Overdrive 2, but it doesn't seem likely. So Kerbal Space Program 2 is going to blast off in 2020. If you don't remember, Kerbal Space Program was a sleeper hit back in the day, and it's gotten bigger through time. This was announced by Geoff Keighley at Gamescom 2019. Kerbal Space Program 2 is coming to the PS4 in 2020. So the sequel has been fully redesigned from the ground up to meet the demands of modern and next-generation space exploration, all while maintaining a momental foundation of the first game. In a press release, it has also said that build a space program, construct powerful spacecraft, design resource-gathering colonies, and much more to uncover the secrets of the galaxy. The new game will not only be more powerful, but it will be more accessible, as there will also be fresh tutorials and instructions in order to get you up to speed. There will also be interstellar travel for you to sink your teeth into. The trailer is available to watch now. I know Kerbal Space Program was really, really popular back in the day. Haven't heard much about it recently. I know it's recently been ported to different places, but now there's a Kerbal Space Program too, so we'll see how much better that is. And finally, the last melon. News story for today is One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, will let you win a fight with a single hit while using the main character. So, everyone was wondering this because the main character in One Punch Man is so powerful. He should be able to beat someone with his both hands tied behind his back and just sweat drops on that enemy player and they die. But the main character, Satama, is the main character of One Punch Man, and it seems like you need to build up, fight well in order to use him. During the trailer, it showed off a lot of characters people recognize from the anime, and he came in during the middle of the trailer and pretty much one-punched a giant dude, and that was it. So the mechanic is probably going to be only story mode unless there's like a special ability or like a fatal blow or something like that that brings him out. But this doesn't mean that he's not going to be a playable character. Maybe he still will be a playable character in multiplayer where the story really doesn't matter. But this is all up in the air right now. Of course, fans are pretty excited to see him come in and do a one punch and kill a guy. But we'll see how the multiplayer aspect of that works in the future. And that about does it for this episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast. We're not going to be doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Card pack openings anymore, during the podcast at least. We'll save those for live streams and the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos. If you want to, you can check out yesterday's Yu-Gi-Oh! Video, which features me opening up another booster box for the Arena of Lost Souls. We get a lot of good pools in there, so you may want to splunk on over. Also, remember, the podcast is available on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts as well. And you can catch the premieres on 4 p.m. Wednesday and 9:30 a.m. Sunday. So if you want to, you can join me those days. That's it. That's all to report for today. If you want to, you can check out, I do live streams on Thursdays, Mondays, and Saturdays, so if you want to, you can check me out then. I also do edited videos and stuff like that, but who cares? Remember, if you want to, make sure you like this video, comment, rate it, let me know on Twitter, social medias, anything, how you felt about this game, or about this podcast. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, and this has been YemmyCast, a video game podcast.